Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be showing y'all how to make our Monoprint. So I have my styrofoam plate, I have a brush and water here. You can also use a sponge as well. This is to coat our paper here that we have, and then I have a stencil of my image right here that I've flipped over here. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing that we're going to do this, I'm going to take my marker, forgot to mention this at the start, and just cover my styrofoam plate with the ink. Okay. So I want to do this as kind of long, even strokes as possible. And get kind of good coverage of the whole plate. Because if there's a white spot on your plate, it is not gonna, it's gonna be white on your paper when it comes out as a print. I'm just trying to be very thorough. Here I might kind of go along the edges here. I'm trying to be as even as I can because of these streaks. If you have kind of really visible marks and streaks on your plate when you are, so say if I was doing something like this, it would kind of show up as such in my print like that. So I'm trying to avoid doing that. I'm going to kind of try to mark over that. My marker here, very delicate. Okay. Alright, I got my plate covered. And now I'm just going to align my image on top of my plate. So this is my sketch right here and my cutout. When I print it, it should inverse when I print it. So I'm going to kind of take my image, flip it over, and then set it on there. So when it comes out, it will be set up as I drew it as I drew it on my paper, my sketch. Alright, so I have that set. I'm just going to put this aside for now, and then prepare my paper here. So I need to wet my paper. We're trying to get this damp, okay, rather than kind of soaking. It's not going to be dripping wet or soaking wet. I want this to be damp. We want it to be wet so that the marker ink will transfer over onto the paper, but we don't want it to be so wet that it will bleed the marker. So I'm just loading up my brush with some water, and then kind of dabbing off some of the excess here. And I'm just going to take this and then kind of very gently kind of cover my paper here. And again, I want this to be damp, so kind of barely shimmering here. I'm not sure if this paper will be very great for printing. I might have to reshoot this, but we'll see. Alright, I got my paper kind of damp. I'm going to take my block and a paper, and then I'm going to I'm trying to lighten this up as best I can. And then drop it on there. We don't want to move this too much after we've put the plate and the paper together. I'm just going to use my knuckles to kind of smooth out the page, which will get the marker ink onto the paper. You can kind of tell it's working if you can see some your paper. You can see it here, the marker kind of being see-through from the paper here. This might take a couple of test runs, and that's okay. You can just use paper from your sketchbook. That should be thick enough to use for our printing. Okay, so once that's done, you can just lift the paper off here. I'm having trouble, and it should come out like such. There we go. You can see here, it's a little streaky. I could have put my paper a bit more, or kind of ran it through, kind of put some more even pressure on there. This might take some trial and error if you're really a perfectionist, but I think this will be pretty. This is a pretty decent one though. So here is my print versus my sketch right here. Okay, so I have a little. So it looks really nice here. If you were doing this with relief, you would have, this would be kind of the same process, except you would have your design on here first before you add your marker and everything. Right, but I'll be back with another video on doing that, I think. Right. So this is how you make a monoprint. Here, this is what we got. Right. So thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.